Hi, everyone. I'm the Dynamite Doll, and this is episode number 14 of Dirt with the Doll. Today, my next guest is, yes, he's my favorite cousin, as we all know, the Dungeon Wrestling promoter from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, Dallas Hart. How are you today?
I'm good, Ron. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm so good. Welcome to the Dollhouse.
Right on.
So, yeah, we grew up together. I'm 3 months older, so much wiser than you. And
I'll give her that.
And we grew up like, our moms are sisters, our dads are wrestlers, so very similar upbringings. What do you think the coolest part of our childhood was?
Obviously, with our parents being in the wrestling world, we saw a whole different side of world that a lot of kids don't get to see, and we got to see what it was like on the road, and just got to see what it was like, kind of almost like being in the circus a bit, but there was some interesting characters we got to meet growing up, and it was kind of normal for us, but wouldn't be normal for any other child.
Completely. So, yeah, you mentioned the circus, which, going up to the Hart House for Sunday dinners and Stampedewrestling, that would definitely be signs of the circus. There could be midgets, there could be giants. Do you have any like outstanding memory or like things that stand out in your mind of being like out of the norm to most people, but you're like, this is just our normal Sunday dinner?
Yeah, I think even just the dungeon and the stuff that was going on downstairs at Grampy's house was always hilarious, because we would just go there as kids and just be playing around, and you go into the dungeon down those big cast iron stairs, and it was kind of a freaky kind of vibe, and you'd hear people wrestling and screaming down there, and it was just a normal part of Sunday dinner, going there and just people wrestling and screaming back, and that was just always something that I'll always remember. And just the dungeon itself was very iconic. Just the little tiny roof in the basement and the stairs going down there. It was a scary, freaky,
terrified me.
Yeah,
because they were like metal grated stairs, so if you trip, like, you're probably not going to survive.
Yeah, and it's like a scene out of a horror movie sometimes, like how going down there just was like freaky.
Very much so. Even when you went down into the dungeon, there was like a little room, and then there was a door so you could go outside.
Yeah.
And there was like, I don't really know what it was, but there was like a well. Do you remember that?
I kind of do remember that. And
I don't really know what the well was for, but it was creepy as hell. You could just look down and it was so deep, and I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I don't know what's down there, what's been dropped down there.
Yeah, it just does like a scene out of a horror movie for sure. Everything was like, you thought Pennywise was going to jump out somewhere.
So you are the second child out of 4 to Julie and Bret Hart. So you're the firstborn son to your dad. Was there any extra pressure, do you think, being the eldest son? To like the pressure Blade would have got?
Yeah. My dad was he never put pressure on us to be a part of wrestling. If we were going to get into it, he was happy to support it. And, he tried to steer us clear from doing stupid things with it too. So, we got a bit of both, but yeah, there was obviously a lot of pressure to get into it, just, with the name, and not just with him, but with the whole family. The whole family's tied to wrestling.
The whole world. Yeah.
I think when I was younger, about 20, 21, I did try to get into it, and it just wasn't my thing. And there was no passion for it. And, my dad never really pressured me or anything to do it. It was my own decision. And when I said I didn't like it, he was all for it. But now that, I've stayed with the wrestling and just promoting it and doing the dungeon wrestling stuff now.
Yeah. Yeah. You found your niche. That's so right. Being the second child, did you have that middle child syndrome growing up? Because I'm the oldest, so I don't know what that's like. Was there any of that being the second of 4, or?
I think there is for sure. The way the family's structured, for sure. Jade being the oldest, gets a different kind of attention, and then me and Beans in the middle, and Blade being the baby. He always, was obviously the baby of the family, and got the most attention, and was probably caused the most trouble too. But that's kind of just how it goes. But yeah, the structure and everything was yeah, there was a lot of pressure to get into wrestling, being the oldest son for sure. And Blade felt the same pressure, and I think everyone in the family feels the pressure to do something with the name.
Of course. So did you get to travel a lot? You mentioned traveling with your dad wrestling. Did you go to a lot of pay-per-views growing up, or where's the coolest place or your favorite place you got to go?
Yeah, I mean, we got to go a lot. Like that was because he was on the road a lot, as you would know too, like with the parents being gone. But we got to go. That was a way we got to go with him on some of the trips, and a lot of them was to like little places in the U.S. that you'd never even think of, little tiny towns and stuff. So
Yeah.
Not some of the places, not the most exciting, but we always got to go to pretty cool places, and we did get to see cool stuff. For some reason, I always remember San Antonio being like one of the coolest places to go. It was just like the downtown was super cool, and got to go to the Alamo and got to go see all these like cool spots. And just for some reason, that one always stuck out to me, traveling on the road.
That's Texas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never been to Texas, so I would love to go. So I'm sure that was super
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. There's lots of history there. And just the downtown, I remember they have like the river that goes through the city, and it's just like, it was super cool.
Nice and hot, probably.
Yeah.
I do want to give a shout out to our moms as well, because of course we're always praising our dads, and they're in the spotlight, but the woman behind it all, who's handling the house and the kids, is Julie, your mom, Julie.
Yeah.
What a force to be reckoned with. And so if you were to get in trouble at school, who would you rather get the punishment from, your dad or your mom?
I mean, it's a tough one, because the punishment would be harder from my dad, but he wasn't around as much, so I could get away with a little more stuff. But yeah, when my mom, she was juggling 4 kids, and I could get away with a little more stuff with her. But when she did find out, yeah, she could be ruthless at times, but fair. I think she, like I said, had her hands full with all of us. But
I know, like, if any of your friends, if you got in trouble, they're scared of Julie, like the wrath of Julie.
Yeah. And especially, I mean, I remember with Jade, like, especially, my mom she was ready to roll up her sleeves and go fight kids for her if she had to. It was that kind of.
Yeah, you've seen her on Wrestling with Shadows, people. You don't want to mess with her.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. She's from the res too, so she's got that extra little,
Yeah, little spice to her. So both your mom's side of the family and your dad's side of the family are huge. Large families tend to be a little more dysfunctional. Why do you think that is? And would you trade it, or do you find it entertaining coming from large families?
I think it's entertaining for sure. It's kind of crazy to think, just like our generation has that many cousins and that big of a family, because it's kind of you don't see it really anymore. Like, even with my daughter, she's only got 5 or 6 cousins on my side, and then
it's just a lot compared to some people. Some people have like one cousin.
On her mom's side, she has 0. So and it's probably maybe she'll get 1 or 2 on that side, and maybe 1 or 2 more on our side. But I think on our side, we had like 36 just on my dad's side, and then I don't even know how much on our mom's side, like 20. So I think I got over 50 cousins, like first cousins.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah, your dad comes from a family of 12 kids, and then our moms come from a family of 8 kids.
Yeah. So. And they all of them, except for maybe a couple, don't have kids. So yeah, it's a lot of cousins, a lot of keeping up with everybody, but it's awesome. You still see and keep in touch with a lot of them, and I think obviously our family's kept in pretty close touch over the years, probably more so than others. But yeah, it's there's a lot of us, and I'm sure someone in the whole city knows at least one of us, or a cousin or aunt
or has been taught by
Bruce.
Uncle Bruce. Everyone's like, Bruce taught me. I'm like, yep.
Oh yeah.
You and everyone else, or Ross. Uncle Ross.
Yeah. And I think Violet, that's my daughter. She's starting to see that now in like grade 2. She's starting to, like, when she says her name, people, teachers and stuff know who she is, and she's kind of putting the two together, that her name's she's got a lot of family.
Right. So she must really love going to the dungeon wrestling shows that you put on, and they're very kid friendly. And so she must feel that like that legacy that you are helping continue to build.
I think so. I think she's starting to kind of see it a little bit.
Yeah. Because she's in grade 2 now.
Grade 2, yeah. And but she doesn't. She's not big on watching the wrestling. She likes kind of just being down there and helping with selling the shirts and stuff like that. She likes doing that a little more. But she's not like glued to the wrestling, not yet. So we'll get
that. I'll take some time.
Yeah.
It's just the whole like atmosphere being there, and
I think
even if she's doing tickets at the door, like that's so cute.
Yeah, and she saw Mo getting beat up a couple years ago. She was still quite small, and she didn't know how to differentiate real life Mo versus in ring Mo, and she was like didn't know how to process it. So I think that kind of threw a curveball at her for wrestling. So now she just she doesn't really watch. She kind of watches it a little bit, but yeah, more focused on the.
Been there, girl. Been there.
Yeah.
I remember we were at WrestleMania. I think it was 7 in LA. And I don't remember your dad wrestled, but someone who knows their WrestleMania history will remember, but I don't remember because we were kids and he lost the title that night.
Okay, yeah.
Pretty sure. Or maybe Disneyland. And I remember we were crying because I would have been 7.
Yeah.
And we were so upset. So I feel your pain, Violet.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean,
it might have been a tag match. I'm not sure.
Yeah, when you're that small, I mean, it's different to why you don't, it's intense, and it's especially when it's your own family in there.
Yeah,
you don't know if it's like a real fight, or you don't know the choreographic behind it and that kind of stuff. So it's for them it's a little more processing, but
it's funny. And I remember, speaking of like the pressure that the kids feel or being in the family. My daughter came home after, I think she was playing with Violet, and you guys might have just had a show or something. And Mo was wrestling around with them. And then she came home to me and she was like, Mommy, I don't want to be a wrestler. And I was like, you don't have to, honey. Like, it's a part of our family. And like, we all love it. Like, you can do whatever you want. She's like, I want to be a singer. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. It's funny because Violet did the exact same thing, said the same thing. She's like,
it was probably the same event.
Yeah, I think she thinks that's like what she's being, been brought
like an arranged marriage.
Yeah, like she thinks that's what she has to do automatically. But she's like, I don't want to be a wrestler. I'm like, okay, same thing. I'm like, never even said anything about it, but don't worry.
Speaking of arranged marriage, I do want to mention my favorite picture of us growing up.
Oh yeah.
I have not seen this for a while, and I need to pull it up and find it. But Dallas and I got baptized the same day. Together, same time, same church, everything. Our moms did it together because we're 3 months apart, but we were a little older. So we were like 3 years old. So we were old enough to like, we weren't babies being held up, getting our hair wet. So we're sitting at the stairs at the church and they're taking our photos, and he's like in a tux and I'm wearing a white dress. And I literally thought it was our wedding. So I called our wedding photo, but it's just our baptism photo.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. And it's like, because we got the whole suits on and everything, and
everyone's gathered around.
It's I think even at that age, it's still a confusing ceremony. Like you don't really know what's going on, and then some weird guy's putting water on your head all of a sudden. Like it's
using cold water.
You're kind of shocked, like you don't know what's going on. And because my little nephew, Beans' son, he just got baptized.
River.
Like a month ago. And it was the same kind of thing, like just the shock and look on their face, like they don't know what's going on. It's actually hilarious.
They always freak out and you feel so bad.
Yeah.
But we grew up very close, and I have to say you were always very modest. What was the hardest thing about dealing with your dad's fame growing up? Like, what was the most annoying thing at school?
I don't know, but I wouldn't say anything really annoying. I mean, people would ask silly questions like, does your dad put you in the sharpshooter or something like that? Like those kind of questions would just be like annoying.
Yeah.
When I don't know. But other than that, I mean, there was way more benefit to being.
Yeah, that was my next question. Yeah, benefits.
Yeah, there was more benefit, and people would know who you are, and they knew the family right away. They knew my dad, Owen, your dad, Davey. Just like all around the city, their names were the talk of the town. So, you felt pretty good about that. And, you'd like being recognized for being part of the family and for the most part. And you'd meet the occasional person that would maybe give you a hard time or something about it, but nothing really.
I know Jade had a harder time. Maybe it was more difficult being a girl, but
yeah. I think maybe Jade got it a little bit more. And I think it was maybe harder for Jade and for I, because we were, my dad's career was kind of at his hottest when we were in junior high and like those younger grades. And by the time we got older, it was a little bit different. And then Blade and Beans, they had their own thing, but it was my dad was kind of on the come down at that point, wasn't as hot. So
yeah. Speaking of benefits, I can think of a couple. I know that I got let into the original Cowboys nightclub with a fake ID.
Yep.
And they're like, and it was Jade's ID. And they're like, "You're not Jade Hart. We know Jade Hart." And I was like, shit, fuck. And then they're like, "Well, I'm like, "Well, I'm her cousin." And they're like, "Well, who's your dad?" And then I told them, they're like, "Come on in."
Yeah.
So I was like, right on. Now, what was the other thing that I benefited from? Oh, I think you did too. Our gym teacher in high school, he was a wrestling fan. I think his name is Mr. Oh crap, I forget his name. But it was known that you didn't have to show up and he would pass you because he was a wrestling fan. And sure enough, I tested it out and I sure passed.
Yeah, I think I got him a signed picture one time too. And it was like, I think I was about to get kicked out of that class. I got him a signed picture, and I think I saved the whole semester and saved my whole. Not because gym class isn't very hard, but
it was just going.
Being there was the hardest part, but that was high school, different mind frame.
Yeah, so I think it was in junior high when you had an article in the WWF magazine. Was it a one-time article, or was it like how did that come about?
There was a series. Of them, and they were hilarious to look back on now. But maybe those were probably I would get grilled for those back in the day by like friends and people I knew, just because it was kind of cheesy and funny. But
like modeling photos.
Yeah, and just like with my hair, like I had a wild haircut back in grade 7, 8. It was the 90s, so. Had to take care.
I remember it was red in the photos because we had just experienced dyeing our hair for the first time.
Yeah.
One of those photos made it in there, didn't it?
I think so, yeah. And going through the punk phase, and that's when I would make sure, I would comb my hair and do all this crazy stuff with my hair all the time. I was very serious about it, but it's funny now to look back on that phase. But when I see those pictures from those articles, it just makes me laugh. But yeah, it all kind of came about because Vince Russo, he asked my dad if I wanted to do it, and he just kind of did it for not very long. I think it was maybe only 2 or 3 articles I did, but
still cool. So you got to write whatever you wanted, or
I got to write whatever I wanted, and I got to just talk about what I do and what I'm interested in.
Teenagers.
Yeah. So it was pretty cool. It's cool to look back on now and have those memories and stuff. But
do you still have them? Like you have copies?
I do.
That's awesome.
I got one. Actually, I only have one of them. I think I have pictures of the other ones, but I have the actual magazine of the one.
And what was the title of the article? Or do you remember?
I can't even remember. I'd have to pull it up. I know it's something cheesy.
I'm trying to think heartbeat or tiger heartbeat. I don't know.
I know I'm wearing a starter jacket, and
I remember.
That was the 90s in a nutshell right there with the haircut and the starter jacket. So.
Yes.
Legendary. I got to find it. I should post that one online.
You should. I'd love to reread what you wrote. I just can remember the pictures, but
yeah. I mean, it was, and I think they asked me a bunch of questions and they put it just in column format or whatever, but it's kind of funny just because I talk about some of my friends in it too. So it's just funny to see names being brought up.
Oh, that's when I was friends with blah, blah, blah. He didn't make that.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I know that you, growing up, were passionate about skateboarding and snowboarding. Did you ever want to do that professionally?
Yeah, I wish I could have gone professional. It's that's a really physically demanding sport, and I don't even know how some of these guys go professional.
Almost worse than wrestling, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I was pretty good back in the junior high, but you see guys now and it's like they're embarrassed to make me look like I was so bad how good they are now. So it's crazy to see. And, you know, but I still like to go skateboarding and snowboarding, more so snowboarding, but, you know, I'm not trying to do anything crazy anymore. I just like to go down and get down in one piece is the goal now. And just trying to teach my daughter how to snowboard. I took her out for her first time just a few weeks ago.
That's so cute.
Yeah. So she loves it. And I love that she loves it. And, you know, that was the goal is to.
Has she skied yet or just snowboarded? I heard snowboarding is harder than skiing. I've never done either, to be honest.
Yeah, she hasn't tried skiing and she wants to, but I'm trying to keep her away from that.
Well, they will in school. She probably will. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's just too much equipment because it's not a cheap sport to get into, and going out to the mountains is not cheap like it used to be. So.
Yeah. So have you ever seen the movie? I think it's called Mid-90s.
The skateboard one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically, for any of you that haven't seen, I think, who was it that made that movie? Is it Jonah Hill?
Jonah Hill, yeah.
Jonah Hill made the movie. And that's exactly what our 90s teenage years were like hanging out with you and your friends.
Yeah.
And you highly influenced me with music, like hip hop. So you introduced me to Wu-Tang. You actually introduced me to Deftones. That's why I wore my Wu-Tang shirt today.
Oh, nice. I see that.
Deftones, and I just finally got to see them last year for the first time in concert, and it was so awesome.
I heard it was good. Yeah.
Yeah. And Wu-Tang, they came like the same year that I saw Deftones last year. So those were really great concerts. What are your favorite groups or like hip hop groups or bands today?
It's funny. I was right before we jumped on, I was saying that tonight I'm going to the Offspring concert, which is pretty crazy because that was kind of when I first started getting into music. That was my first.
Grade 5.
Yeah, it was like punk music. So I liked Offspring and Green Day and that kind of, you know, punk because I was just getting into skateboarding. That was like the first phase of skateboarding music that I really liked. And then rap didn't really come around till grade 7, grade 8-ish. But I still listen to Wu-Tang and stuff all the time. I still listen to a lot of metal. Still like the Deftones. I listened to their new album. Went to the Korn concert when they were in town. It was amazing. Went to Metallica last year. That was amazing in Edmonton.
Yeah.
So, you know, I listen to a lot of EDM, go to a lot of DJ shows. That's probably my top one. So can't really say I have a favorite artist because I'm kind of all over the place with everything I listen to. But yeah, I think for rap, still a lot of like old school, the Wu-Tang.
I know. Yeah.
Like West Side Connection and NWA, all that stuff. Like it's pretty much my whole library, all I listen to. But all the, you know, still the alternative rock, the Soundgarden and Pearl Jam and Marilyn Manson. We went to the Marilyn Manson concert. That was a good one too.
I feel like we're pretty much exactly the same. But do you like country?
Absolutely not. No.
Me neither.
I can't. And I don't, if it's in the background, it's like, I'm not like bothered by it. I don't hate it, but I'm never going to put a country song on myself.
I can tolerate it during the Calgary Stampede. It's 10 long, treacherous days, but I'm not a country fan. I just find it so depressing.
Yeah. And it's just, it's not my genre. I see why some people like it. And it's always singing about a pickup truck or some, you know, some farm or something. I don't know. It's not for me. Not for me. And that's pretty much the only genre I'd say I don't really like.
I love Southern rock though. So like, I think I could still have a really great time in Tennessee with like the Southern rock.
Yeah.
And some people are like, you're listening to country. And I'm like, no, this is more like, you know, like Johnny Cash or
I like
Skynyrd. I love.
I do like that. And that's what I mean. I'm sure that someone could probably change my mind and be like, oh, you like this song. That's, you know, that's a country song. It's like, okay, maybe there's like a handful of country songs that I like or don't hate. But yeah, majority of it's not for me.
And I'm glad you brought up Green Day because I wanted to add this to my questions and I forgot to. So that just triggered my memory. I think it was grade 5. We got to go to Green Day. Well, I was going to get to go and go backstage with you and your dad and Jade, I think.
Yeah.
But I got grounded because I got caught smoking in grade 5. So I wanted to ask you, how was the concert?
I mean, it was amazing.
I'm so mad about it.
I know that was my first concert, and I don't really. There's only bits and pieces of it I actually remember, but
That was your first concert?
that was my first concert, yeah. And because and the first concert I wanted to actually go to that I like needed to.
And I remember you got the red signed shirt, and I was so pissed because I didn't get to go.
Yeah.
But I think I borrowed it. I would borrow Dallas's clothes because I hung out with Jade because Jade was a year older. So there's Jade, then me, then Dallas. But I could hang out with Jade and like, you know, she'd have her nice preppy clothes and whatever. And then I could go hang out with Dallas and I'd borrow his skater clothes, and his band shirts and baggy pants. I remember borrowing that shirt, the signed Green Day shirt.
Yeah, I still remember that shirt. And I remember just having all the posters, like all the Green Day, and then started mixing in with the rap stuff. So you had the Green Day and then the Wu-Tang posters. And
you had Jenny McCarthy. I remember her up there.
You had to have a couple babes up on the wall.
Yeah. Just total 90s era.
Total 90s, yeah. It was the best era. It's funny because I was literally telling Vi about the 90s, and I'm like, that's when and I know a lot of people agree, maybe it's us just being biased, but it was the best decade, the best music, the best TV, the best.
Well, the fashion's back now too. Like that's how Miami dresses, like baggy pants and like not so much the baggy shirts. Well, sometimes actually. Yeah, her and Kyra just dressed totally 90s.
Yeah, Vi's getting into that too. The wearing the super baggy, everything has to be way too big for her.
Yes, I love it. I support it. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we both grew up in the northwest of Calgary, but we never went to school together except for, when my parents got a divorce, we stayed with you for a little bit, like in your house, until my mom figured out what was going on. And I got to go to school with you. It felt like for 1 week. I think we were in the same class.
Yeah.
And then my mom, figured out where we were going to move and blah, blah, blah. So I didn't get to go to school with you anymore. But then fast forward to high school, we finally got to be in school together. And you and I were both underachievers, let's just say. And so we were in all the lower classes together. So we were in like math, science, like all those really easy classes.
But yeah, the one, like, I remember the math class was like, it was really bad. It was like adding like 10 plus 3. And I'm like, is this actually like what we're supposed to like?
Is that with Mr. G?
Yeah. And I knew because it was, we weren't in that math class because we were stupid or because we didn't, it was because we just.
We just didn't apply ourselves.
Didn't try. Yeah.
Yeah. We were skipping and, doing all that in teenagers.
I think when we actually did go to class, you're like, okay, I know that if I actually was trying, I'd probably be in the better classes, but because you're in, so you kind of lose your motivation to go to class when you're like, I don't want to go to class and learn how to do 10 plus 3. I already learned that in grade 4. So I'm going to go, I'm going to go behind Max and talk to Murray. So that was usually the
But I remember too, I think it was math grade 10. We had a different math teacher, not Mr. G. And facing McDonald's. Yeah, it was math. And you'd be like, I'm going to go get us some McDonald's. So you'd be like, excuse me, can I go to the bathroom? And then you'd run. You're like, what do you want? And I'm like, I'll get a sausage McMuffin meal or whatever. And I'd watch you out the window running across the street, like hitting the light to go to McDonald's. And you take forever, come back with the McDonald's. I was like, yeah. Score.
And the teacher wouldn't even know. He would just still be, he was very clueless and had no idea. And I think that was, we were in a different time where it was a lot easier to miss school and like, teachers, we had a pretty big high school, big classrooms, and teachers just didn't really care what you were doing. So that was kind of the thing. You would come into class and then you just leave class.
Yeah.
Come back at the end of class and it just looked like.
I think you were in science with me. We had that British teacher. I can't remember his name, but
yeah.
We'd always just be like, can we go to the bathroom? And we just never come back.
And with this, you come back like 3 hours later just to get your bag. And it's like in a different, like some other kids are in a different class with a different teacher. You're like, oops.
Good times. My daughter is 17. Well, she just started her last semester ever of school. She's in grade 12.
Crazy.
She hasn't failed a single class in high school. I'm so proud of her. I'm like, you are nothing like me, child.
Yeah.
This is so great.
Yeah. Kids these days, I think they're like, it's not that it was cool to be whatever we were doing, not go to class, but it's a different time now. Kids, you just kind of see it. Kids don't screw around as much as we did and drinking.
The 90s, man. The 90s did a number on us.
Yeah, exactly.
So our moms used to also bribe us to go to Sunday church with them, and they'd bribe us with McDonald's breakfast. Yeah. So Dallas and I would have a little wake and bake, and we'd be like, Yeah, take us to church. Like, we want that McDonald's.
Gonna go pray to the Lord.
So we'd get the McDonald's and then we'd go home and we would burn out and we watched Looney Tunes on TV. And I was like, this is awesome. I could get used to this. And I told my mom that recently and she got so mad at me. She's like, you were not high in church. I was like, yep, I was.
We kept it pretty low key back in those days. We knew how to not get caught. So it was kind of funny because I feel like with my kids or kid, I'd be able to catch on to these things so easily. But I don't know, it's
maybe because there's 4 of them, 4 of you guys. There was 3 of us.
And I think it's just easier to let things slide. And they're both our moms had stuff going on too, so they're busy and can't keep an eye on everything. And that was just kind of. I remember going to church, and it was like it was just maybe our church that we went to, but it was super boring. I remember all the time just like it felt like Bart Simpson in The Simpsons. Like I just like couldn't even keep my head up. I just wasn't into it. It was never.
Yeah, I couldn't understand what they were saying. I didn't go to Catholic school, so I just went to church.
Yeah, we didn't know any of the songs. I think we were there just to like pretend like we knew what we were doing there, but we didn't. And
this was the church we got baptized in. So
yeah,
I've been there, still alive and kicking.
I've been to other churches with like friends and like different kinds of churches, and
they're more exciting.
They're way more excited. Like they're actually doing like games and like fun things, and I'm like, oh, I wish our church.
Ours is like old people, just the generic,
generic way of a boring church song. This, that, it wasn't very fun.
But I believe in God, Mom. Okay, I was, satanic back then. Big Manson fan, and she's a little bit worried about me. Yeah. So she had a priest come and bless my room twice. And I turned out fine. It
was an exorcism, I think. What it actually was.
Yeah, basically. Well, they blessed the whole house and then came to my room and she's like, do this one twice, Father.
My mom did the same thing with, what's his name? That Swami G.
Oh, okay.
He had to come and bless the house, and he walks around with the thing and does I forget what that's called.
Yeah. Like the incense or whatever.
Smearing or whatever.
So he spent a lot of time up at the Hart house, like Stu and Helen's house. So that's Grammy and Grampy. What are your favorite memories of being a child up there? Because a lot of my memories, I feel like we were with the girls. So like I remember Jade, Angie, Muffy. Mm-hmm. What were you guys up to up there?
Yeah, and it was all kind of the same thing. It was just chaos up there. So. Yeah. And there was always kids that are your age or right around your age. So I was always getting mixed up with like Ted and TJ and Matt and Harry and went up there. And usually it was just, playing around in the ring or playing around outside in the field or down in the dungeon or who knows, Ted was throwing somebody down the stairs or some Ted was a bit of a wild guy growing up and, it was entertaining as a kid growing up with him because he did some crazy stuff. But I mean, trying to think of like an exact memory, like
were you a part of the Cadillac Steelers that went up to 7-Eleven to get Slurpees? But
no, I think that was like
children stole the Cadillac and went up the hill.
I think that was
7-Eleven to get Slurpees.
Muffy and I think that was them, was it not? I can't.
Yeah.
That
was me. I was always such a goody good, like scared of consequences, believe it or not. Yet my mom thinks I'm like this devil child, but so I'd be like, I'm gonna stay back, guys. I was always so scared of getting in trouble.
Yeah, I think I was kind of the same, like at that age, because you didn't want to mess around out there, and like like you kind of just stuck around the house and just you didn't want to get in too much trouble. It was it was kind of
lots of trouble to get into up there.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Something. Oh, there was a bus. Do you remember playing on the bus?
I do remember playing on the bus, and it was like always. Yeah, it was. That's actually funny you say that. I haven't even thought of that bus.
I just like popped up in my mind, and I'm like, I remember the bus.
And it was like freezing, like, and it's like -30 outside. We'd be like in the bus playing in the back. And there was like seats missing out. All the seats were gone out of it, wasn't it?
Probably. I don't really remember. I wonder what they used the bus for. Like, must have been for wrestlers.
I would think Grampy had it for carting around all the wrestlers or something. Do
you have any funny memories of Grampy?
I mean, that's another part of it too, is when we would go up there, because we'd only go up there when my dad was in town. So we'd go up there on Sunday dinners, and Grampy is busy cooking most of the time.
Yeah.
He did all the cooking, and he'd be talking to my dad and Owen and the wrestlers, or he'd be downstairs. So it's like, it was hard to ever get any kind of one. He was a busy guy, and there's 36 cousins all flying around, and
it's true.
Not many, but we did. Like one of my favorite stories is I went to a Mets game with Grampy and my dad, and I think Bruce was there.
Wow.
And that was a really cool moment, going to a Mets game with him, and I still remember it. And it was one of the only games I've been to for baseball. I've been to a Blue Jays game, but that was,
Was Grammy there? Because she's from New York, right?
Grammy wasn't there. That was for WrestleMania, I believe. And I remember getting all the merch. Like I got the New York Mets garbage can, and got a baseball, and got all the cool stuff. And like Mike Piazza, I think was like he was a big deal back then. So it was really cool going there with Grampy and with Bruce. Yeah.
Was that anyone's favorite team, or was it just because you were there?
I think just because we were there, and like we're in that area.
It's fun seeing any stadiums. They're all so cool.
Yeah, and especially in New York, because it's just, obviously the Yankees are the number one team, but just anything in New York is just, so cool and so historic, even the Mets, and just such a cool city.
Yeah, that would be super cool. What era of wrestling is your favorite? Or who is your favorite wrestler, and what era is your favorite?
I mean, growing up, like I was the biggest into wrestling coming right out the gate, like in the 80s, mid 80s, early 90s. And I know it might pain my dad to hear it, but I was a huge Hulk Hogan guy. And that was I was the biggest Hulkamaniac growing up. So I think there was a time when I was like 3 or 4.
I should have remembered that. I was trying to remember, and I'm like, I just remember Blade's a Doink fan, and I couldn't remember who your favorite was.
Yeah. No, Hulk Hogan. And I think him and my dad had this house match one time, and my dad beat him, and I was so like mad at my dad. I wouldn't even look at my dad in the face. I was so mad that he beat my guy. And I know it put my dad.
Talking to you.
Yeah, I was like, I can't talk to you. I'm a Hogan guy, so I know that probably hurt him back in the day. But growing up, when I was, my biggest wrestling fan would have been Hulk Hogan. But as I got a little bit older, I always liked Undertaker. Like just the gimmick and the character was always my favorite. In terms of the technical wrestling, I'm going to be biased and go with our family. I'm going to say my dad and Owen and your dad and Davey. Those were my favorite, and they were, they were way ahead of their time, even when they were in Stampede Wrestling. And then they took that to WWE, and the reason why they got as big as they did is because they were the best in the ring.
They really changed tag team wrestling too.
Yeah. They were like the first cool tag team. Like before that, nothing really was memorable. But after that, it was like the tag team was just as important of a division as all of them. So it was really cool to see all of them on the stage at the WWE. Having those kind of matches was really something. And then everyone kind of did their own things and came back, and all of their careers were so special, I would say.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. I'll be biased and say I agree. Do you have a favorite match of your dad's?
Him versus Owen, I would say. Yeah. I know a lot of people would say the him and Stone Cold, but obviously the him good ones. It's more, it felt more
storyline and everything.
And it was with both it was with the whole family, and obviously him and Davey at Wembley Stadium. That's hard to have that as not one of your tops, like that. And it would be hard to pick between the Davey and Owen WrestleMania. They would be tied for like 1 and 1.
Two family members, best matches.
Yeah,
we're not biased at all.
Yeah, not biased at all. But outside of that, what my favorite match? So
those are really good matches.
Yeah, I don't even know. Maybe
Yokozuna.
Never really cared for that whole gimmick.
I remember that era.
Yeah, wasn't crazy about the Yokozuna part, but the Stone Cold and Yeah, and like him and Sean too. They were at their top of their game at that point too. So I like that rivalry, and it kind of gave birth to the Attitude Era, and all the conspiracies of the Montreal Screwjob and what really happened. So people still don't know, and yeah,
that's a whole nother episode.
that's a whole other episode. We'll save that for another one.
So let's talk about Dungeon Wrestling. How long have you been running this promotion now?
So it's been since 2022. So I think we're in our fourth year. And
what made you start up?
So we originally kind of did it just as an idea just for a single event. Some friend of ours asked if we had access to a wrestling ring and if we could host this little wrestling show in a brewery. And we were like, yeah, that's easy enough. We know we can find some wrestlers and a ring pretty easily around here. So borrowed a ring, put on this little tiny event, and it was, it ended up being a lot of fun. And it was just, it was like, oh, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. And so kind of the idea was kind of just started there. We're like, oh, we could do these. Let's do another one of these again soon. So we did another one, and that was kind of just going in the right direction of starting our own promotion. We're like, felt natural where people wanted to see more shows that we were doing, and they had fun at the brewery shows. And then, we just were like, obviously we have the name that we can piggyback off of. So we just went with it, did a show at the Pavilion, and kind of just have been trying to grow the brand ever since for the last 2 or 3 years. And we got my dad has the Hitman Bar, and we work with those guys, and they help us with the events and promoting and doing our pre and after parties there. So it's
pretty convenient. It's like walking distance. After the show's done, you can just walk over to the Hitman Bar. Exactly.
And the Pavilion is where the Stampede Wrestling used to be. So there's lots of history, lots of the guys that are coming in, it's on their checklist of places they want to wrestle. So it's definitely a hot spot. And my dad, he's involved with us, and he's down there. He's helping plan matches and talking to the guys. And it's a pretty good little system we got. And we've been going in the right direction the last couple of years. And we're going to try to be picking it up and getting it outside of the city of Calgary, start moving around to parts of Alberta, and hopefully outside of Canada. I mean, all of Canada and outside of Canada eventually.
That was one of my questions. I did want to ask if there was anywhere else you would like to run a show. But
for sure in Edmonton, like Edmonton, they have a really good fan base over there, and we got lots of demand. Like a lot of people drive up from Edmonton for our shows, and lots of people.
It's a 3-hour drive for people that don't know.
Sorry, 3-hour drive, and they have as much love for Stampede Wrestling as Calgary did. So it was a part of their history too, and they like to see the rebirth of Stampede Wrestling in Dungeon Wrestling's format. But so we've got lots of interest from Edmonton, so it's a no-brainer to kind of do a show there next, and then probably just start trying, I don't know, maybe do the circuit like Grampy did. And
I was going to say, you could do like Regina, take it back to Regina, where our moms are from.
That's right. That's right. Do Saskatoon maybe, and maybe somewhere in BC, just start doing a little tour, a little circuit.
So the first time running in the Victoria Pavilion, what did that feel like for you? Because I know my very first wrestling show that I ever worked was there, and it was, you could just like feel how special it is in that building.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's the part with it, was it's part of the whole promotion is the venue. And I think the fans recognize that it's like you get a very nostalgic feeling knowing that Stampede Wrestling was there, and like some of the names that came out of Stampede Wrestling were in that same building and went to the careers that they had. And so you're just like you said, you can feel it when you're in there. It feels like that place was designed for a wrestling show. It's for cattle auctions and stuff, but just the way that it's situated is like perfect for a wrestling show. It even has the cow crap smell, so it smells like the Stampede.
Feels like home.
It just smells, and so there's been a couple of shows where we went there and they had it cleaned up and it actually didn't smell like it. And I was like, oh, I kind of
I
want
missed the smell.
kind of want the cow shit smell because kind of gives it its own little signature.
That's hilarious. You threw me off there with the cow shit.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say if you guys have ever seen the photos of my dad and Bad News Brown and they're brawling in the up the bleachers, that is the Victoria Pavilion. So it's the same seating, same room. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, they haven't renovated much in there. It's
well, they've torn a lot of stuff down on the Stampede grounds, and I thought there was talks of tearing that one down, but I don't think that they did.
No, not yet. And
obviously they haven't. But.
I mean, and who knows what will happen once we get our new arena?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But
for now, we're safe. But they've told me they have no plans of taking it down. So
yeah,
we'll see.
What do you love about being a promoter?
I think it's the easier choice for my body. Like I don't have to take any of the bumps, and
it's your way of being involved and not injuring your body.
Yeah, and just it's definitely more of my alley and more of my personality. Like I like doing the kind of being more behind the scenes. I don't need to be, and maybe one day I'll be involved in some of the shows or storylines or something. But
yeah.
It's just it's more suited for what I like, and I've been enjoying it. It's nice having family a part of it. Like I said, my daughter, she's down there helping scan tickets. My mom's helping me. My dad's down there. You guys, everyone's always coming down and supporting, and it's a nice.
It is. I will say, at all the promotions in Calgary, it is the most family friendly, and I really enjoy whenever I go. Seeing the front row, it's like tons of kids. Yeah, they're on their guardrail, sticking their hands out. It's very family oriented, and that's so great to see. And the kids are having so much fun, and they cheer so loud. So
yeah, that was actually one of our only complaints at one of the last shows was
too many kids.
Two of the kids were up on the rails and they were blocking the people, and it was just one guy that was complaining about it. And I said,
"Oh my gosh, let the kids have."
I was like, if that's my only complaint of the night, that the kids were too into it and getting too up close, and I'm like, that's not the worst one to, not the worst kind of complaint to take. So I was happy with it, but we also told them to during the matches go back to your seats, kind of thing.
Yeah, I just don't want to get hit or anything.
Yeah,
bodies come a flying.
Yeah.
So after one of your shows, what is the deciding factor if it was a successful show? How do you walk away feeling okay, yeah, that was good?
I think you just kind of gauge it by, the wrestlers react, how they feel. You can always tell, they're, they're like, oh, that was intense. And the crowd was into it, especially our last event, our main event it was really good. It was a lot of energy, a lot of everyone was engaged in it. And you could just feel the buzz from everybody. And everyone was just that main event was just it was so good. And then even the wrestlers after, you could tell their adrenaline was just going and they were happy with it. And that's obviously the feeling that you want. You want them to be happy with how the crowd was, and and you can feel it too. You can feel when they get that kind of pop from the crowd. And that last one especially, it was buzzing. So
and that was the one that wasn't at the pavilion, right?
No, this was at the pavilion.
Oh, you're back at the pavilion.
Back at the pavilion. Yeah, we did one. We had to do one at the BMO situation that was out of our hands, but still made that one work. Surprisingly, I thought it was going to be a bit of a disaster, but it was, again, the crowd showed up and the wrestlers all put on amazing matches. Everyone was happy. So that feedback from the crowd is good and feedback from the wrestlers is good. So I can breathe my sigh of relief at that point.
Well, I can't wait for the next one. I know there's one coming up soon. I believe it is the Family Day long weekend. Is that right?
Sunday, February 15th at the Victoria Pavilion in Calgary.
Right on. Monday's a holiday for me, so we'll be there. What are your goals for 2026?
We're definitely trying to ramp it up. Like we said, we're trying to get shows in Edmonton. We want to start doing more shows on a regular basis, monthly, and it
seems like it's becoming more right now.
It is, yeah. We're trying to rev it up, and last year and other years, we're trying to pick dates that we know that are going to work.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't always work out the way you want. Like there's always stuff going on in the city. Sometimes, we might plan an event on a certain day, and then we plan that
There's a
date
hockey game.
months ago, and then all of a sudden there's a concert or something else goes in next door, and then you're competing. You lose tickets to that, and there's losses. There's a lot of trial and error with dates and trying to pick the right schedule, and that's kind of what we've been trying to do. And some work better than others, and we've taken some losses, and we've had some good shows too. So trying to just find that right balance, and we're going to keep it going on a monthly and try to get the storylines really, really solid and bringing guys in regular and just really building the product.
Perfect. I look forward to that. So I have a little this or that question for you. Actually, how do I want to end it? I have 3 fan questions. Maybe we'll start with that. Okay. Fan questions first. Did you know the story between your dad and Owen was a work? The storyline when you were, I don't know how old you would have been back then, actually.
Yes, to a degree. To a degree, like you knew it was a work, but they were very, and my dad said this before, but they were very serious. Like they wouldn't travel together.
They didn't talk, yeah.
They wouldn't get in the same cars, and I think it was even like going to Grampy's. Like they wouldn't want to be seen at Grampy's at the same time together, like because someone might be out there or something, So they kept it.
Paparazzi, yeah.
Yeah, and you'd still see them talking, and so you knew there was. You knew that it was a work in some degree, but then you would see something like, so yeah, you're at a young age, so you don't know what's part of the show and what's not. So you're juggling back and forth. But yeah, for the most part, I'd say
they had you fooled pretty much.
They had me fooled, I would say.
What are your memories about my dad? Do you have any memories about my dad?
I do. I think being out at I always say the Cochrane House, the one with the maze in the back, and going there, and I feel like we got lost in that maze like every weekend thing. And I just remember your dad just like not even being like, he kind of just increased like, hey, go out there, and we get lost, and it was like the moms would get like hysterical, panicking where we are, and then they would be laughing. For some reason, that always pops out of me, that memory.
I don't know why we had a maze in our backyard. My mom could answer that, but
I don't know why either.
We had a large acreage, and there was literally a maze of like, I don't know, like trees and stuff.
Yeah.
And so we split up, and I think I was with Jade, and we split up. And I remember seeing like a tree full of caterpillars, and I was like, we're freaking out, we're lost, we don't know how to get out of here. And then eventually our moms were like, follow my voice, like to the left, to the right, whatever. We followed their voice to get out of there. But then when I went back to school, when you had to do like creative writing, I wrote a story about it, about getting lost in this maze, and like this whole thing happened on this journey. And yeah, that was my childhood.
Could be like a Disney movie.
Yeah. When was the first time you remember your dad talking to you about wrestling in a non-kayfabe way?
I wouldn't say until like after he was kind of out of it, after he was retired.
I mean, I guess if he was going that far with Owen, then.
Yeah, and I think that was also a reason why the timing for when he came out of wrestling was kind of in an age where I would have normally gone into wrestling, but because he was coming out, there was less desire to go into it because he had just been through all of the Vince McMahon stuff and then the WCW, whatever happened there. And so when he came out, it was, I think he was more encouraging to not get into it at that point. Like, it's full of shiesty people, and it's like, don't go in it unless you really want. He's like, if you want to go in it, like, I'll support you, and I'll help you get to wherever you want to go. Yeah. But he's like, is it really worth it? So he was kind of playing both. You didn't want to. He wasn't trying to talk us out of it, but was also just like. So it was less appealing at that age, and that's when I was,
very much so. I got turned off multiple times with my dad's injuries and just.
Well, that was another part of it was the injuries, and even TJ, who we know really well, got his neck injury super young, and
Yeah.
Things like that. I was like, I don't know if I want to get into it and do those same kind of things and get those kind of injuries. So
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, it definitely scared me a little bit more. And
yeah, I feel like you and I, we both we loved wrestling. We grew up with it, but we found our own way to be involved, and it didn't have to be like us working matches. I'm a manager, you're a promoter. I now have my podcast. Like we just find our own ways that work for us. And
yeah, and there was a big space in between where I had zero interest in wrestling. Like after high school until, I've been like 16 till 25. I was just like, didn't watch wrestling, couldn't be bothered with wrestling. But like I said,
came knocking back on your door.
Yeah. And I was at that age, my dad was completely out of it. He wasn't in wrestling. So it wasn't as appealing to me at that. And at that time it was converting into a different era that I just wasn't into. I like The Rock and I like what he did, but I never really got into it that much at that era. Kind of after my dad left, I was kind of out of it. Not just because of him, but that's just
the 80s era was the best, I will say. The gimmicks.
You grow out of it, and you just kind of grew out of it, and then eventually got drawn back to it.
Yeah, in your own way.
Yeah.
So now I like to do just a fun little this or that question, and you just say which one you're more prone to, or which one you. Yeah. Sharpshooter or heart attack?
Sharpshooter.
CB's Drive-In or Peters?
Peters.
All the way. Territory Days or Big Time Television?
Territory Days.
Refined, sophisticated dinner or rambunctious family dinner?
Rambunctious family dinner.
Yeah. Kickflip or method grab?
Kickflip.
Red Man or Method Man?
Method Man.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Those are always fun to do.
I was ready to go for another 20 of those. I like that.
I know. They take time to make up, okay? I'll get better. But yeah, where can people follow you and any events you want to plug or merchandise?
Yeah, we're getting our website up in the next month or so here. So we'll have all our merch on there, the Dungeon Wrestling merch. But yeah, you can follow us on Dungeon Wrestling on Instagram, Facebook. We got matches up on YouTube. I've been thinking about starting a TikTok account because that's where all
that's where it's hot.
Generation's at. So look out for us on TikTok maybe one day here soon. And
maybe Violet can run it.
Exactly.
They're better at that stuff than us.
Yeah, she would love doing that. That would be her calling.
Or Kyra. Hire Kyra.
Her and Kyra can start teaching Violet. Get them all into it.
Family business.
Our next event is February 15th, Stu Hart Heritage Championship Tournament, and it's at the Pavilion. Family Day. There's going to be lots of hearts, lots of family there for that one. So come say hi, come watch the best wrestling in town.
Thank you so much for being here today. Sorry, I cut you off.
I was going to say you get your tickets at dungeonwrestling.ca. That's all.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being here. This was so fun. Everyone, thank you for joining us in the Dollhouse for episode number 14 on Dirt with the Doll. And please remember to like and subscribe to X Brand Wrestling and sign the petition for my dad to get in the WWE Hall of Fame. Thank you. See you next time.